You know what we need? We need to get entrance music for Craig. Like a WWE entrance music.
Wait. Why does he get entrance music? We don't even have entrance music.
Okay, well, we'll all get entrance music.
Let's make a Hoosier Main song. Actually, folks at home, help us.
Yeah, you write it.
Yeah, you write us a song. I think my youngest brother sent me an AI song, but I don't know how I feel about using an AI song. Like, I'll just make one on my iPad in GarageBand and be like, doot, 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 who's your main? Doot, 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 who's your main?
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, folks, hello and welcome.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The podcast, right. Yeah.
Yeah. My name is Jared.
My name is Anthony.
Yeah, this is my wonderful co-host.
Craig, introduce yourself. Don't be rude.
Craig's like, shh, I'm trying to record.
Oh.
What are we talking about tonight?
I don't know.
Sorry, football season's over, folks.
Yep.
You want to lament with the folks? You want the folks to lament with you, or you just want to move on?
We can lament for a little while. I think that's worth. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. I think they deserve to know how it ended. So we ended the season. We had undefeated regular season. We were Grant 4 champions, CIC champions, sectional champions, and we lost in the regional game to Adams Central. And it was a really good season. I mean, we had more wins this year than the last 2 years combined. So we obviously overperformed. We played really well, and we were just really banged up and really hurt, and we ran out of gas. So that's what the playoffs are: is just who can last the longest. And we couldn't last. We were done.
I always forget that there's like the possibility for injuries in football. So when you were telling me about how that ended, I was like, oh yeah. So you're just like battle damaged and trying to play. Some of those kids were in cast, weren't they?
Oh yeah, our entire defensive line either had knee braces or walking boots on from where they had. We had kids who had torn their PCL. We had strains. We had torn ligaments. The whole gamut of stuff. And there reaches a certain point where it's like the other guys are good and you're not, and they were good and we were not.
So that game took place on the 14th. For us, today is the 20th, but for the folks at home, it will be the 27th. So
now they know our schedule. Don't tell them that.
They know our schedule every Thursday.
Oh, right. I guess that's true. Yeah.
And if you have any suggestions for games that you want us to talk about, or maybe you don't know if we played it, maybe we'll play it and do an episode about it. But for now, we are now in full Final Fantasy VII Rebirth like exploration mode. For me, you've completed it. I'm being distracted by my friends dragging me into Warcraft. Very fun time, by the way. But yeah, we've started it up. We're going to finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth before the end of the year. Mark that down.
This is kind of our white whale because, it's not like this game just came out and we went out and bought it day one. We've had it for a while. The problem has been trying to get it to run, on your computer, and just trying to make sure that we could play the dang game. So we've been trying to do this for a while, and now that it's finally here, I'm chomping at the bit. I've actually, like you said, I've beaten the entire game. I'm now in the process of catching up to you in hard mode, so you're just a little bit ahead of me in hard, or in your first playthrough, and so I'm about to catch up to you where you are, but you are kind of dragging your feet because you're doing everything, whereas I'm just trying to catch up.
I have this tendency to drag my feet through any game, especially one that I like, and I have this tendency to procrastinate playing it so that it doesn't end. And so I think that's what's taken us so long to get to here. But number two, like playing everything in the way, like replaying Final Fantasy VII, replaying Remake, and then 100% in that. just like purposely putting up roadblocks and then like pit stops of different things along the way. Well, I need to finish Divinity. I've had Divinity Original Sin 2. I bought that and I hadn't finished that. And now I finished it and now I can't use that excuse anymore. So, well, yeah, well, now I'm playing that. And so far, here, we'll give you the first impressions here. And then Anthony can tell us what he thought his first impression, because he's already beat it. So this also keeps him in the right mood, so you don't accidentally talk ahead of the story.
Yeah.
Mild spoilers here for the beginning. That intro where you play as Zack, oh boy, what a treat that is. First impressions of that. I mean, I'm playing it on on my Steam Deck, but still just like an incredible experience to play through that, and the story just like sucking you right into some action right away. I mean, that little bit of intro was just like very reminiscent of the original game and remake, with Train and coming in to do the bombing run, and it's just like da 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 da, and then you're playing as fucking Zack.
I think the thing that I need to start with, and maybe this is maybe going too far back, but I don't care. Final Fantasy VII is our favorite games. You know, we talked about that last week, or maybe two weeks ago, where if we had to put together a list of our favorite games of all time, for both of us, Final Fantasy VII was that game. And for a very long time, we got nothing. You know, we obviously had Crisis Core. We were talking about this before we started recording, but we had Crisis Core. Neither one of us really enjoyed the gameplay of that on the PSP, but it was almost like a requirement because it was a Final Fantasy VII game that we at least tried it. And then we both tried Dirge of Cerberus. That game is objectively awful. I mean, from a control standpoint, it can literally make you seasick trying to play it. And so we were just so starved for more. This is the thing that we are the most passionate about in this sector of our life, and we're starved for it. And I remember when they announced Remake, and I was like, this is the greatest news of my life. I was so excited. And I remember one of the very first things that stood out to me when they announced it was that the combat director from Kingdom Hearts was going to be the combat director for this game. And my mind exploded. It was like my favorite game of all time, my favorite story of all time, mixed with my favorite combat in an RPG of all time, which is Kingdom Hearts. I was like, I will take literally anything you give us. And we played through Remake, and we both loved it. And playing through Rebirth just confirms that it's just more. They gave us our favorite thing, and then they were like, here, have seconds. And it was like, oh, don't mind if I do. I will have seconds. Like, I am just, like, invested in everything. I'm watching YouTube videos on it. I'm playing the game. I'm theory crafting on different builds. Obviously, I won't spoil anything because you're kind of at the point of the game where they're still trying to catch you up, tutorial on mechanics and stuff like that. But there's just so much that you can do. And so for me to be able to jump in hard mode and catch up to you and watch how you react to the things that I have been experiencing, it's icing on the cake. I love it. I'm in love.
Our audience is like, do they like Final Fantasy VII? Yes, you've told us.
Yes.
But yeah, I had to rewatch that intro cutscene a bunch of times because I was messing around with Decky, Frame Gen, and OptiFrame and FSR4 injection on the Steam Deck. So I rewatched that opening cutscene a bunch of times with Zack, and it never got old. After he throws that fucking piece of pipe with the concrete on the end, and it hits the fucking helicopter, and then he hefts his sword up onto his shoulder. I mean, that is Zack. Like, that's enough right there. He didn't have to say anything. He just showed, and then he was fucking aura farming. And I was like, this fucking guy, dude. I was like, holy fuck.
It's incredible. I mean, if you think about from the perspective of the original game, there was so much that had to be cut from the story, just to get the game done, but from a perspective of a PlayStation 1 game, that game was 4 discs. When they made Remake on PlayStation 4, it was 2 discs. A PlayStation 4 game. That was unheard of. I think the only games that did that were Final Fantasy VII Remake and The Last of Us Part 2. And so for there to be so much there in this game, and like you said, you struggled a little bit with getting it to run. We're currently in a phase now where we're trying to decide whether we want to continue to be PC gamers. Do we want to become console gamers, which is where I've shifted to? And so, watching you struggle through that just only reaffirmed to me that yes, it stinks maybe not having the sharpest graphics and not having all of the mod options and all of the ability to tinker, but the ability to put the disc into the tray, pop the game in, and play it only confirmed to me that, like in my mind, hey, that's what gaming is. It's about playing the game. And tinkering with the stuff and all of that, that's its own separate hobby, which I still love. I still love building PCs and working with technology and all of that stuff. But that almost needs to be separate. And we kind of talked about that with the Steam Machine stuff and all of that. But yeah, right now we're just locked in.
For those who don't know, Dirge Erebus was a Final Fantasy VII game. It was a third-person shooter where you play as Vincent Valentine. He's one of the main characters from the original game. And I hate to say the fucking potential word here, but I just really wish they could have fucking figured that out. Because god damn it, Vincent Valentine is so fucking cool. Type him in. If you don't know who he is, type in Vincent Valentine Final Fantasy VII and just gaze upon the fucking vampiric cloud strife.
Yeah, I'm trying to like as politely as I can, because even the story wasn't that great. Like the Dirge story was weird.
It was awful.
It was weird. It didn't make sense. It had nothing to do with the game. Now, the one thing we didn't talk about was the movie Advent Children, which, as weird as that was, I still really enjoyed the movie. But again, like we're getting so far away from the original story that it's like these characters don't mean anything anymore. It's like, okay, so Vincent has this side battle going on with like the deep ground stuff, and it's like I don't care about any of that. I care about the core cast of characters, their story, their strife and overcoming it, and the journey to save the planet. That's what I care about. And so all of that stuff that we got, yes, it's nice to have extra, it's nice to have more, but when more is different, it's not more, it's just different. It would be like sitting down and eating a bowl of ice cream and somebody's like, "Would you like chocolate syrup on your ice cream?" It's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be really nice actually. That's a nice little addition." And then somebody walks up and is like, "Would you like jalapeno peppers on it?" And it's like, that's a little weird, not really. And they dump the entire bottle on top of the ice cream, and it's like, "Well, this isn't ice cream anymore. You've changed what it is." That's pretty close to what Dirge and to a lesser extent Crisis Core was. And Advent Children, I thought, brought it back kind of, but even that was weird.
Still like Crisis Core for its story. I think it does fill in some ideas and world building. Dirge is just, I don't know what the fuck was going on there. I'm not even going to comment any more on it than I already have. But Advent Children always felt like to me, this is the movie. So Final Fantasy, for those who don't know what we're talking about, Final Fantasy VII eventually got a movie made because they were expanding that. I mean, they actually made, I think, two. There was like an anime one that was about the end of Crisis Core and leading up to what happens to Zack. Advent Children, it was supposed to be set like way after. There's a couple books I need to read. I've got them now. So I might be trying to work through those too in my late nights of no sleep. But yeah, Advent Children always felt like to me like an anime filler movie. Like, no offense to it, I still think it was great and it was a great time. It was a great ride. It was good to see because that was shortly after the Spirits Within movie came out for Final Fantasy VII, or not Final Fantasy VII, excuse me, Final Fantasy, which was weird. That was a weird movie. You ever want a really like strange and philosophical spiritual adventure? That's the Spirits Within. But Advent Children just like it's unnecessary, but I liked it. I'm glad it exists because it was good. Unlike Dirge Cerebus. What's gonna add? We've been talking about that for a few minutes. Moving back to Rebirth, though, initial impressions from me. Really like the combat system. It feels much faster than Remake. much more um, just focused, but you still feel very open to do whatever you want. You're immediately given all the characters, and that's really cool. I really like that. I really like the open world. I love how fast you get to Chocobo. It really, after playing the original game and how well it lines up in world builds and expands upon the very minimum of information that's in the original game, it's just fucking incredible. And it's like you were saying, just like for guys like us who just really love that game, playing this game is just like a fucking wonderland. Like it's just so fucking awesome. Just like everything that you wanted to happen is happening. It's just like, wow, wow, look how cool that is. Oh, they embellished that story. Oh, they world built right over there. Oh, wow. Oh, look, by the way, you can play Gwent. I mean, Triple Triad. I mean, Queen's Blood. Hey, welcome to an RPG. Would you like to play a card game? I don't want to play that card game. Give me those fucking cards. Yeah, beat your ass. Ah.
There's a couple of things that I think the game just does an incredible job of. The world building, like you had already talked about, is insane. It's very obvious that they took a lot of the criticism from the first game and they were like, "We hear you. We're going to fix that." And not only are we going to fix that, we're going to show you right away that we fixed it. Anybody that played Remake can tell you fighting against aerial enemies was awful. It was terrible. You had no options. Your options were cast magic spells or use Barret. That was it. Sometimes your attacks would work, sometimes they wouldn't. Immediately, as soon as you start up Rebirth, the game shows you, you know, we fixed that. Now you have an entire new move set when you're in the air. You have ways of getting into the air, which is awesome. I love those. Those are fun and unique to each character's play style and fight style. But the thing that has me so excited, you play by menuing. So you press the button when your ATB bar fills up. You press the button. You go into a menu. You select what you want. When I play, I use the hotkeys, and so I hardly ever touch the menu. Everything that I do is pre-programmed onto hotkeys, and so each character, as I switch through, it's seamless. I'm almost never pausing the action, but we are playing the same game, playing it completely different, where you get to be a little bit more tactical and catch your breath and be like, okay, let me think about this. What do I want to do here? Okay, let's do this. Whereas, I'm much more on the side of reacting, with those hotkeys, reacting faster, keeping the pace of the game kind of in this action RPG where you're playing much more of a traditional RPG, and it works for both of us and we both love it. So I'm incredibly excited about that. I'm excited to see how they expand on that in the next game, but I also love how much attention to detail they gave
When
in
we
this
get
game.
to the retro replay or remake, we'll go more into that idea. But really, one of my favorite things about what you just described and how you can choose to do action or you can choose to kind of do this kind of, it's still action based, but you kind of get like a little pause to like, because sometimes I get rolling too fast in my head and then I end up dead. And it's nice to have that little moment of pause to be like, okay, what are we're gonna lose? Like, are we gonna lose? Do I need to just restart the fight, or like, can we salvage this? I always like that in traditional RPGs where you can I salvage this fight and win? I like that feeling of pulling out the win, even though we made like a cascading failures throughout the game. But I really thought that hard mode in remake was going to force me to use the quick keys to beat it, but luckily it doesn't. I mean, we were sitting there making jokes because there in the menus it talks about like weapon potency and stuff, and I was like, well, we better get our DPS parses up so we can get our numbers. Fucking making Final Fantasy 14 jokes, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to min max your fucking damage. You just have to win. And I like that. I don't like to be judged on how many characters are left alive after I get a W. You know, yeah, yeah, we want to be untouched, but you're not gonna get that the first time you do a combat. I hate when games are fucking giving me grades and I'm like every fucking combat's a test now. Like what the fuck? I fucking have test anxiety now.
It really feels like everything is funneling back in Rebirth specifically. It really feels like everything is funneled back into, are you enjoying yourself? Everything is pointed at that question. So, are you enjoying yourself when you are in combat? If the answer is yes, the game just gives you more of that. It just keeps giving you that reward. If the answer is no, the game literally tells you, like, just do it a different way. Don't do it that way. Do it in a way that is comfortable and fun for you. And if you're the type of person who really enjoys crunching those numbers and being like, okay, this is how I squeeze every little DPS out of each character, that's there for you. If you want to be the type of person, I know you had said that you really enjoy having these custom builds that make each character feel unique and specialized. The game lets you do that. It lets you play however you want. And then that extends also outward into how you interact with the world. Do you want to do every single little quest, every little piddly-wink thing that the map has to offer? Do it. If you don't like that, move on. The game lets you choose how you want to play, and I'm blown away. I know I'm 110 hours in, and I fully intend on putting easily another 100 hours in while I'm chasing you in hard mode.
Yeah, and just to touch on like they ease you into that open world, but they also, like, the narrative is really good at pulling you through out into the open world. And like you said, you can just chase whatever fucking dragon you want once you get there. But I really appreciate that kind of slow transition from how Remake played into the open world section. And I haven't got to the big snake, Midgar swimmer, whatever the fuck his name is. I haven't got to him yet, but I really liked getting the chocobo. I like doing the fucking choco tech, like fucking stepping on the gas. That's I mean, when he's watching me play, I'm like, I'm teching. Look at me, I'm choco teching.
Full
Riding
drift
a
mode.
fucking big bird. Yeah, it like drifts, and I feel like gas, gas, gas. I'm going to step on a gas. I'm like doing that all around the map. But yeah, I'm pretty much piecing at each area and really exploring it. I really like the way that each area really feels like you're supposed to be there, and you're going to definitely deal with the enemies that are in this area for some reason. And the world is not only storytelling us, but the characters are talking, and so we're getting a full story. We're not just like having to look around and be like, I wonder what happened here. Let's pick up the context clues. uh there's a time and place for that kind of storytelling, but I'm glad that that's not how it is here. And just so far, I'm just really loving the game. Uh, Done a couple bosses. I need to do Titan. I just got old boy. He's not a fat boy in this game. Papa Yoshi, I know that you're trying to make him look like the original game, but I like Fat Boy Titan from 14. He might be my favorite Titan.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, some of my favorite summons of all time come from Final Fantasy Tactics. And so that's kind of where my mind goes when I think of summons. And I think the game does an okay job of representing them visually. You had pointed out that Shiva looks off, and after you said it, I couldn't stop seeing that like monochromatic image of her where like everything is blue and there's no pop of pink anymore. And so yeah, I agree. There's a couple of things that I would like changed, but again, like those are things that you can go in with mods and make the way you want them to be. I'll just go out and say, you were kind of trying to be political and be polite and be nice. I will come out and say I'll stand on my soapbox. The thing that you were referencing before was Dark Souls, Demon Souls, the game that I played, where the game is about environmental storytelling. It's about show don't tell. I like to be told. I like it when the game tells you what the story is, and takes you by the hand and is like, come here, I'm going to show you the story. Look, you look at it with your eyes, and then it drowns you in information, and then it's just like, oh, this is so nice. I love it. Everything is explained. Everything has a purpose for being there. And the things that don't have a purpose or aren't explained, there's that aura of mystery to them, and it's like, oh, are we even supposed to be here? Why is that there? And so I love that. That is my preferred way of storytelling. As much as I loved playing Demon Souls and how atmospheric that game was, which that's a 10 out of 10 on its own side of the coin, but we're back on my side of the coin, baby. This is where I want to live. This is it. I love it.
Wait, who's your favorite summon
Oh,
from Final Fantasy
well,
VII?
I can't.
Who's your main?
Well, I can't answer that. Are you talking about in Rebirth, or are you just talking about in general?
Uh, see if you could do in Rebirth.
No, then I can't.
Oh, that's a shame.
In general, I mean, it's got to be Yojimbo, right? From 10.
Yo,
Like that's got to be up there.
yo, Jimbo. Yo, yeah, I forgot about Final Fantasy X had some fucking sick ass.
They had some good ones.
Yo, they had an old fucking Thunder Horse. I mean, I don't know how many times Final Fantasy wanted to replace fucking the Lightning Summon. What was wrong with Ramu? He was a badass, but it's fun to say Quetzalcoatl, and I can never remember. Is his name Ixon?
Oh,
Ixion? What's his name? The Thunder
yeah.
Horse? Final Fantasy X.
Craig, pull your weight, man. Look this up for us.
Thunder Horse. Ixon. Yeah, Ixion. He appears in Final Fantasy 14, and you can get him as a mount. Fucking sick. Thunder Horse is fucking cool. I do like him. I don't want him to be unmade. But what was wrong with Remu? Oh, the three summons I always think about when I think about Final Fantasy is Shiva, Remu, and my boy fucking Ifrit. And my favorite iteration of Ifrit is definitely in this one. The man Ifrit. Man, the aura that motherfucker has when you summon him in the original game. He's like, and then he's like, boom, and it just like shoots through the fucking. Fuck! That scene is. Oh man, that's the best part of summons. I just love summons. I love in all RPG games. If you've got summons, you got little pets. That's what it is. It's just more little guys, and I just want to collect little guys, and they're the little guys. So
Yeah, they're the little guys that are giant monsters that shaped the planet.
yeah, cool. That's
Just little
fucking
guys,
cool.
yeah.
I love that. And they're
Yeah.
elemental, and they smash things, maybe, or maybe they're super hot. Like Ifrit, he gets hot, he's on fire. You know what I'm saying?
In all seriousness, I think this game did a really good job because in OG7, the summons are just materia that you pick up. They have no backstory. They have no effect on the world. And this game does a really good job of tying a summon to a location. So it's like, oh, this is how this summon, this is their domain. This is how they've shaped this area and the effect that it's had on the people and the culture that have grown. And like you discovered it, they have these hidden shrines where when you find them, they power up your summon if you've already unlocked them. If you haven't unlocked them, it makes the fight to get them easier. I love that. I think that's a cool way to incorporate the summons into the world by giving them a place, giving them this, like you said, we're putting them on a pedestal where they rightfully belong. And I love that. I think that's a great addition.
For my Final Fantasy 14 listeners out there, we all know how they are in 14, and they're quite dangerous for people to worship. But in Final Fantasy history, this way of storytelling in Rebirth falls more in line with how they used to do summons, especially in like Final Fantasy VI, just one Final Fantasy prior. And maybe they didn't include that kind of storytelling because they had just done it in a previous Final Fantasy, and they didn't want to make the game so much more about the summons as it is about the people in the game. But it's nice to see that come into Final Fantasy VII. I'm very nostalgic of this set of summons and their designs. Yeah, I'm a little sad that Shiva doesn't have the pops of color like she does in the original. But I mean that falls more in line with how she looks in more modern Final Fantasy games, and it might be a little confusing to new players who coming from 14 or 15 or 16 where she is all blue. I mean, even you can even go back. I think the Shiva sisters in 13 are pretty much all blue. I mean, they might have a little gold on them, but that was a pretty sick version of Shiva. Two chicks, turn into a fucking motorcycle, bro.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Bro. um, I did want to talk a little bit about this game I've been playing on the side for my kids. I've been playing Mario. This is gonna be like a fucking whiplash here because we were talking about Final Fantasy and now we're gonna fucking swing into this really strange spin-off. But this is kind of a little bit of shout out to my friend Amy who really likes Rayman. We play or she likes to play this Rayman game that she shares and it's really fun to watch. But this game is Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and it's so freaking weird. Mario has a gun. The Rabbids from Rayman are in your team, and it's a fucking tactical strategy game where you move your guys like Fire Emblem or Tactics or something. And it's so weird. Maybe XCOM because you have to do cover fire. You have to get up on cover, and that gives you bonuses, and the cover can be destroyed. And you just have to gain all these kind of advantages. But it's only 3 on however many they want to throw at you. But it's been really, really funny. It's a really funny game. Not much story, little story, typical for a Mario game, I'd say. But a lot of like fart jokes.
that's pretty in line with the Rabbids that I know.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like this weird menagerie of things happening. But Luigi's a sniper, by the way.
Good.
Very dangerous. Mario can do his if you jump so one of the movement abilities you can do is you can jump off your friends, and if you do a boost jump off your friends you can land on bad guys as Mario, and that's pretty in line. Um, but there's just all kinds of goofiness that goes on. If you set an enemy on fire, they run around like crazy, and they might run into you and set you on fire, and that's really funny. It, I have a few gripes about it. I played a lot of tactical games like this, and this game is super punishing. If you click the button, your character moves. There's no like, are you sure? And you can't like move your character, check and see what it looks like around him, see if you're in like you just have to know if I move there, that's the right choice. So I've had to do a couple of redos on some fights because sometimes you just get your order of operations mixed up playing a game like that, and I'm just like, gotta restart the battle. But I think if it had those things, it'd be like a perfect little crazy little game. It's just so weird. Fucking Rabbids with Mario, like what the fuck? And so the Rabbids that are on your team, they are dressed as Mario characters. So right now I have Peach Rabbid and Luigi Rabbid. And Peach Rabbid, she's constantly taking selfies of herself, and that's really funny, especially if she's like getting whomped. And the Rabbid Luigi has like I don't know, he's just goofy. I don't know what, like he's not really like Luigi at all, but the two rabbits like ignore Luigi and nobody ever remembers Luigi's name. I always think that joke is really funny in Mario games. So it's funny to see that. They're like, "What's your name, Lewis?" "Larry." And he's like, "Yo, hey, man, Luigi." You're like, "Oh my god." It's been a really cool little game. Um and plus I've been playing all those Mario games on the side, so it's been nice to see my old friend Mario. I kind of neglected him for quite some time, probably since Mario Odyssey. Do you realize Mario Odyssey is like 8 years old?
That's crazy.
I can't believe
That's
that.
literally insane. That obviously they've put stuff out, but I was trying to remember that I vaguely remember this game when it came out, and you're exactly right. I obviously don't have experience playing this game, but I do have experience playing XCOM and tactical games like this. And it's so funny how all it takes is a game to have character. Like you said, those inside jokes, those little things that keep you coming back for more. That's all it takes to take something and it be like, oh, that's a really cool idea. And so I think this is awesome. I love the idea of the team up. I know that was really big around this time. I think they did like a Mario Sonic Olympic game around this time period, which was pretty fun. I remember playing that too, and it's awesome. More team ups, more stuff. I like it.
I don't see how Mario and Sonic can be in the Olympics without Sonic sandbagging real hard. Oh, you beat me, guys. Damn. Dude can break the sound barrier.
Well, you love speedster characters. You know how it is. They always get nerfed whenever
Yeah,
they have to team up with anybody else.
you're right. Don't remind me of all my favorite speedsters who get nerfed just so that we can have the other team be cool. We could just have the speedster go on his own mission, I guess, so that the other guys can do the cool thing. I don't know. Whatever. I just like to
I got
see
him
him
all
step on.
depressed, folks. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
what the fuck?
I'm sorry.
You know, put me in a spiral in my head. I'm just like thinking about the Flash and stuff. Oh my fucking god. Anyway, yeah, I love those turn-based games, and I have XCOM. I need to play it. So I'm playing the kid version so I can get ready because I heard XCOM's really hard.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. Like you said, any wrong move can result in somebody dying, and so you played Fire Emblem. You know how this goes. You could
Yeah,
spend all this time building somebody up, and you make one
and they're
stupid
dead.
mistake and they're dead, and it's like, oh great, they're gone forever. Well,
Yeah, that's a soft reset. That's a save scum in my
yeah,
book.
yeah.
We're keeping it. I don't think I've ever played Fire Emblem the correct way, where you're just supposed to, oh, war is hell. My friend died. And then if you run out of guys, you're supposed to just do those hireable guys that have no story. No. Uh, I've got all the time in the world to
Yeah.
save that person. Fucking spin back the time turn or whatever the fuck. The Infinity Stone. What is it called?
The time stone.
Yeah, the time. Yeah, sorry. There's like a bunch of time devices in fantasy, and I can never remember the names of any of them. There's a time turner, fucking Harry Potter, and I think that's what it's called. And there's the time machine and Back to the Future. Yeah, anyway, yeah. There's a time machine in the Rabbit game. That game is
Oh,
fucking weird, bro. I don't know shit about Rayman. Is what it is. I think that's what it is. I'm just like these characters are hilarious.
well, he was a PlayStation boy
Was
for
he?
the longest time, and then
I thought he was on
yeah,
PC for a while.
he kind of well yeah he might have started there. I think he started on PC and then
Uh,
went to PlayStation, and then his games died off for a really long time, and then I think like Ubisoft bought them out. I don't know. It's weird. I really enjoyed the newer ones that they made.
95. Rayman came out in 95, folks. Oh, the latest Rayman game. What? The latest Rayman game is Rabbids Sparks of Hope, the Mario+Rabbids game?
I don't know.
Uh, what? Rayman in the Phantom Show. This just makes me want to go play fucking Crash Bandicoot and fucking Spyro and then play some Rayman. You know, we need to do a whole like platformer like
Ooh, yeah.
thing, play a bunch of platform. It'd be really hard not to just get sucked back into Sonic Adventure 2. There's been some really cool mods that came out recently, and I'd just be like fucking gone, fucking rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go. Gotta follow my rainbow.
That's what we'll do. We'll play the old Sonic games. We'll go buy a Dreamcast and we'll play it on original hardware.
Mm,
Yeah.
$20. Hindsight's $20. Yeah, I bet you a Dreamcast is $1 million now. Dream, yes,
I saw one. Here's a little insight into how A Money spends his depressed time. But I went to Disc Replay and looked at a Dreamcast, and they were 125 bucks. I was like, no, thank you.
Look, you can get one on eBay for $60 right here, pre-owned.
That's not too
Obviously.
bad. Does it
All
come with
right.
games?
You know
Hang on,
what? Yeah,
folks.
wait,
Entertain
wait,
yourself.
wait. Wait a minute. We're not doing this on the fucking recording.
No, okay, fine.
We'll do this after. I
We'll talk
think
about
that's
this
all.
later.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, let's wrap this up. We have some
Okay.
things that we want to do.
Yeah,
We'll see you guys next week.
maybe.
No, that's not what you're supposed to say.
Oh, right. See ya.
How do I tell Craig to leave again? Stop.
I don't know. Piss off, Craig.